Hi guys, welcome back to Tea with Tea.
I find it hard to say no to people, especially when they come to me for help, even when I don't want to help out, because I feel it's the right thing to do. How can you tell when you're doing too much or you're being selfish?
Firstly, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing this with us. The first thing I want to make note of is that if you're constantly doing things that you don't want to do for other people, it's safe to say that you're probably a people pleaser. The biggest complication with people pleasers is that they try to convince themselves that this makes them a nice person. I would know because I was a people pleaser my entire life, like literally up until a few years ago, and my family had to sit me down and be like, you need to start putting yourself first. Because of this, for many years people kept taking advantage of me, and honestly I let them because I'd convinced myself that it was just me being a good person. Understand that whenever people are in need of something, they will always naturally gravitate towards the people that they feel would be more likely to provide it. For example, if you grew up in a two-parent household, chances are you always knew which one of your parents to ask about money, parties, sleepovers, and the likes, because they had a pattern of saying yes. And this didn't mean that you thought any less of them or even loved them more. Like any other intelligent person would, all you did was find a pattern that consistently benefited you and stuck with it. So if someone keeps asking me for something that I know I don't want to do, but I keep smiling and doing it anyways, I'm going to have to hold myself accountable for that. Remember that people would always take as much as you allow them to. If you're not setting or respecting your own boundaries, what makes you think anyone else would? Being a people pleaser is one of those things that's quite difficult to talk about with someone that can't relate, because the obvious thing to say is just stop being one. But honestly, it's one of those things that one has to unlearn. The type of thing that starts from maybe the age when we all wanted to be accepted. Maybe you were just a little boy and the group of guys that you always wanted to be friends with are starting to rate you, but now they want you to do something that you know you're uncomfortable with. But you just feel the need to show them that you're that guy. Now you've ended up in some serious trouble and you want to be able to just point fingers and say they made you do it and it's all their fault. But you realize that you could have just said no. And now you're mad at yourself for not just saying it. Or maybe there was this boy that you'd had a crush on for the longest time and he was finally starting to show interest in you. He wants you to do something that you know you're uncomfortable with. But you're so worried that he might lose interest, so you ignore your personal boundaries. Afterwards, you're feeling disgust and regret and you want to be mad at him, but you realize that you could have said no, and now you're mad at yourself for not just saying it. Maybe you grudgingly said yes to helping a friend, knowing that you didn't want to do it because it was a big ask. Even when you're just doing it to be nice, if you know that deep down you don't really want to do it, you don't genuinely feel that good, let's be honest. It becomes more of an ostentatious act just for show. Now you're looking for people to make you feel good about doing the right thing, to make up for the fact that you know you didn't want to do it. You want them to know how late you stayed up and how much you had to sacrifice to be able to help them, until you realize that nobody owes you anything, and that if it was really that inconvenient for you, you could have just said no. Now you're mad at yourself for not just saying it. The submission also asks that at what point are you considered selfish for saying no? I personally believe that only you can really know the answer to that question. Because if I help 12 people this morning and decide that I have nothing left in me in the evening, the people that run into me in the evening are going to think that I'm selfish because I wasn't able to give them what they wanted. Meanwhile, I have done what I'm comfortable with. I shouldn't have to stretch myself thin to prove a point to everyone that I'm not a selfish person. And it could also be that you currently don't have the mental capacity or emotional strength to help out. Sometimes we just don't even have enough to give anyone else, and that doesn't make you selfish, it just makes you human. People are always going to find something to be mad at. Repeatedly choosing to ignore your own wishes and boundaries only to please people that can never fully be satisfied is really not worth it. No one is saying that you should never have to make sacrifices to help others, but just always make sure that you're making a sacrifice that you're actually willing to make. Otherwise, it would always be done at the detriment of your time, effort, resources, and most importantly, your peace of mind. It's really as simple as just asking yourself, do I really want to do this? And if you don't, then don't. But of course, it takes baby steps. Maybe you can start with, no with an explanation. You say no and give a reason why. Or maybe a no with a but. Like, no, I can't drive you to the mall tomorrow morning, but I can do next weekend. This way, you're still agreeing to help them out, but on your own terms. I promise you that over time, as you get used to the peace of mind that you get each time you decide to say yes to yourself, you continue to get comfortable with saying no to others. I hope that knowing that we're all trying to cope with these same issues makes you feel less alone and more seen. I encourage anyone else that may have experience with addressing similar situations to give any additional suggestions that they think would help. Thanks for watching, and especially for your vulnerability. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye!